Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, let's dive right into it because honestly, the opening days of this 2026 World Cup, they have been absolute unadulterated madness. I mean, the whole narrative heading into this massive, expanded 48-team tournament was that everyone was just going to gently ease into the group stages. Well, scratch that. That assumption was completely wrong. Today, we are getting deep into the tactical weeds. We're breaking down the match reports to analyze exactly how our three host nations are surviving what is, frankly, the unimaginably suffocating pressure of performing on home soil. And hey, let's not pretend that pressure isn't absolutely immense. According to the data we're looking at, it has been exactly 12,271 days since Argentina lifted the trophy back in Qatar. Just think about that number for a second. That is an incredibly heavy, almost paralyzing psychological weight to carry into an expanded, high-stakes tournament like this. The entire world is watching your every move, and the expectations? Yeah, they are completely through the roof.
You know, honestly, hosting a World Cup is kind of like trying to throw three massive, simultaneous house parties where literally the entire world is invited. You just have to cross your fingers and pray none of them catch fire. But as we're about to see, one of them literally did. To really grasp the tone of this whole tournament, we have to look really closely at how these host nations dealt with the toxic side of home field advantage.
So, let's get into Section 1, Mexico's volatile adrenaline. Okay, we've got to go back to that very first match on June 11th at the terrifyingly steep Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. Mexico walked onto that pitch carrying a truly miserable streak. 7 consecutive World Cup opening matches without a single win. So picture the crushing weight of 80,000 screaming fans aggressively demanding a victory. It's intense, right? But then the tension just breaks. Minute 9, Eric Lira wins a really gritty ball right in the middle of the midfield chaos, feeds it to Julian Quinones, and Quinones pulls off this spectacularly audacious nutbag on the South African keeper Ronwen Williams. It was like a playground move, and it instantly shifted the squad's entire chemical makeup from pure anxiety to pure adrenaline. Then skip to the 67th minute, veteran striker Raul Jimenez secures a brilliant header for his first ever World Cup goal. They win 2-0. On paper, a completely gorgeous moment. But then their discipline completely, and I mean completely, evaporated.
What's truly terrifying here is the sheer scale of the collapse that followed. I'm not kidding, we actually witnessed a World Cup opening game record in that second half. An unbelievable 3 red cards between the two squads. It was literally like a boxing match broke out on the pitch. You had South Africa's Sithole getting a straight red for taking down Jimenez. His teammate Zwane was sent off right after, and then, crucially, Mexico's very own Cesar Montes saw red and was sent to the showers early. Just absolute chaos.
Which brings us to a quote that perfectly captures this whole situation. Home soil adrenaline is like a highly volatile fuel. Mexico absolutely proved that the raw emotion of a home crowd can propel you forward and break a generational curse. But, and this is a massive but, if you fail to regulate that adrenaline, if you get entirely caught up in that screaming atmosphere, it's going to completely blow up your own engine. Emotional regulation isn't just about good sportsmanship anymore. In a tournament this massive, it is a vital, non-negotiable strategic asset.
So the real kicker here is that by completely losing his temper in a match that was honestly already mathematically won, Cesar Montes earned himself a suspension, meaning Mexico just lost a key defensive player for their upcoming group matches. This exposes a severe psychological vulnerability. It shows an inability to stay cold when the crowd is out for blood. And you better believe the smarter, deeper teams in this marathon of a tournament are going to actively try to exploit that.
All right, moving right along to Section 2, Weaponized Structure and the USA's Discipline. So, we travel over to Los Angeles the very next day, June 12th, and we see the exact opposite response to home soil pressure when the USA took on Paraguay. Now, historically, host nations get this massive energy boost from the crowd, right? They rely on sheer emotional willpower to just sort of scrap out a victory. But what the United States demonstrated sent a terrifying message to the rest of the world. They didn't just harness the home crowd's energy, they took that adrenaline and transformed it into a highly structured, totally ruthless tactical discipline.
Let's break down exactly how this played out mechanically on the pitch, because it was brilliant. They operated like a pressurized cabin. Step 1, they aggressively pushed their defensive line incredibly high, artificially shrinking the playable space. Step 2, the absolute second a Paraguayan defender touched the ball, 3 US players would instantly swarm and completely collapse the passing lanes. It was suffocating to watch. And Step 3, this relentless pressure forced dangerous turnovers in critical areas, allowing their pure wing speed to absolutely shred the opponent. And the result of this agonizingly synchronized high press, a dominant 4-1 demolition job. Let me tell you, executing a press like that for 90 full minutes requires an agonizing level of anaerobic fitness and, frankly, perfect unspoken synchronization. The fact that the US maintained this pressurized cabin proves they possess the deeply ingrained tactical structure to actually go deep into the knockout stages. They aren't just here as eager organizers, they are a serious threat.
Okay, let's head up north for Section 3, Canada's survival and gritty mental fortitude.
On that exact same day, up in Toronto, Canada faced a totally different kind of psychological test against Bosnia and Herzegovina. The match reports are literally describing this as a grueling physical grind, like a heavyweight title fight. Canada basically lived out the ultimate host nightmare, going down 1-0 early in front of their own desperate fans. To make matters worse, they conceded against a highly structured European team that is perfectly designed to just sit back, absorb pressure, and frustrate attackers. I mean, it's the exact tactical profile that historically breaks down North American sides and induces total panic.
But instead of letting that immense psychological weight crush them, and instead of forcing passes and letting their entire structure fall apart, Canada just gritted their teeth. They systematically fought their way back, found the equalizer, and secured a crucial survival point to draw 1-1. You know, sometimes tournament football isn't about being flashy. It's about calculating the path of least resistance and just surviving the math. This one gritty point keeps Canada completely in control of their own destiny.
Tallying it all up on the scorecard, we are looking at an astonishing 7 out of 9 possible points for the hosts, 3 for Mexico, 3 for the USA, and 1 incredibly hard-fought point for Canada. Honestly, this is an absolute dream start. It instantly legitimizes the North American stronghold, and it puts the entire rest of the world on notice that these hosts are fully, ruthlessly capitalizing on their home advantage.
Which brings us to our final major breakdown, Section 4, the 48-team marathon, which is really just a war of attrition.
Now that it's June 14th, the honeymoon phase of those opening days, yeah, that's officially over. The global giants are finally waking up, and the brutal reality of this massive 48-team format is really starting to set in. Just look at today's packed schedule. Over in Dallas, you've got the Netherlands bringing their highly complex total football possession system up against Japan, a squad famously known as giant killers with absolutely lethal counterattacking speed. Down in Houston, Germany's rigid European structure has to face off against Curaçao's highly unorthodox rhythm. Back in the old 32-team format, the powerhouses almost always faced opponents they understood intimately. Now, they're coming up against wildcards where historical data doesn't even exist. The margin for tactical error has, quite literally, completely vanished.
Plus, these global giants are running face-first into an unprecedented mechanical hurdle, the sheer geographic scale of this tournament. We are talking about continental geography here. If you play in the sweltering Houston humidity today, your very next match might require a massive flight up to the cool Pacific Northwest. The brutal time zone changes, the extreme altitude shifts, the shocking climate changes, it introduces a staggering level of physical degradation. It totally alters the very definition of squad depth. You simply can't just rely on a core group of 14 players anymore.
So, what's the actual formula to survive this brutal war of attrition and make it all the way to the July 19th final at MetLife Stadium? Well, our sources point to 3 absolutely vital keys. First, unprecedented squad depth. Your 18th, 19th, and 20th men are going to have to play extremely high-stakes minutes just to manage the brutal travel fatigue. Second, extreme tactical flexibility. You've got to be able to change your shape on the fly to counter incredibly diverse, unpredictable playstyles. And third, let's be real, substantial luck. You've got to dodge sudden viruses or those completely controversial refereeing decisions in this brand new round of 32.
And hey, keep in mind, casting a very, very long shadow over all of this madness are the defending champions. Heavily favored teams like Argentina, they don't even play their opening match until June 16th. That is a massive, massive advantage. They get to sit back, rest, and watch the hosts completely burn through huge amounts of emotional and physical energy. They get to watch the European giants sweat it out against wildcard opponents, all while quietly analyzing every single tactical shift.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a really provocative thought that naturally pops up from all this tactical analysis. We know the hosts have started incredibly strong, right? They're totally fueled by familiar soil and massive momentum. But as this sprawling 48-team bracket inevitably tightens up in July, what happens to the psychology of this tournament if the bracket forces the USA and Mexico to eliminate each other in a winner-go-home game? Just imagine the sheer staggering pressure of a bitter decades-old regional rivalry translating into a knockout match on their shared home soil. I mean, it's one thing to host a party. It's a completely different animal when your co-host is holding the match. Keep a very close eye on that bracket, folks, because the real heat of this tournament, it is only just getting started. Thanks for diving into this with me today, and I'll catch you on the next Explainer.